So we're now looking at step 3 of budgeting your best life, and I've called this the bill tracker. So you will have done something similar when you did the financial health check and when you completed worksheet number 1 of that health check. Essentially, what we did back then was list all your standing orders and direct debits. Um, and the bill tracker just takes this a step further. And it's something that I do every month. And what you have to do is list your direct debits and standing orders in date order. So I've given some examples here of potential direct debits and standing orders that you may have. So what you would do is write the date, what it actually is that is coming out of your bank account. Is it rent or mobile phone or electricity, etc.? Then I've added a column called essential or non-essential, and we'll explain that in a moment. Then I've added the amount, and then the final column is what I call a tick column. And what I do is when I check my bank account, I tend to do this daily or at least every couple of days. Once that payment has gone out of my bank account, I will tick it on this box. And it's really good when you get partway through a month and you can see at a glance what's still remaining. So obviously I'm doing this at the very beginning of this month, so I've only actually ticked off a couple of items here. I can see I've still got all of these to go. Now, I total up the whole value of these amounts, and I know that the total amount of bills that's going to be going out of my bank account this particular month is over £1,200. So that's the value that I know I'm paying on bills. Now, I want to go back to the essential, non-essential column, and this forms part of a review process of your direct debits and standing orders. Now, most of these expenses that I've noted here have got an E against them for essential. So it's things like rent, you've got to pay that. Your mobile phone, really, you can't survive these days without a mobile phone, so it's an essential expense. Electricity, water, council tax, etc. They're all the kind of expenses that you are required to pay to keep a roof over your head. I'll also include in here things like union subscriptions, which if you're working, then you might well be having to pay that, and that's obviously an essential item. TV license, it's essential. I've included life insurance and any other forms of insurance. I mean, this is pet insurance here, but if you've got pets, I would consider that to be an essential one. But then you'll notice I've highlighted 3 of these items, and that's because I've considered those to be non-essential items. Now, it doesn't mean to say that I shouldn't have them there. It's personal choice. All it's doing is flagging up to myself that these items are areas where I could make a potential saving. So, for example, the first one is a Sky subscription that I have. Now, I've written it's non-essential because you don't actually have to have Sky. You could use just the normal terrestrial channels. So there's a chance that I could maybe reduce that or eliminate it entirely. And if I did eliminate it entirely, I'd make £52 saving. So it's just flagging up that there's a potential there for saving money if I chose to do that. I might decide I've reduced it enough and I'm on the minimum and I'm happy with that. It's entirely your choice. It's just giving you an opportunity to review things. Now, you'll notice down here I've also got Netflix. Now, again, there's an argument, do I need that? Because I've also got Sky. Again, you have to weigh up the pros and cons, decide what your personal circumstances are. If you've got teenagers, the chances are they won't want to get rid of it. So it's, again, personal choice, but it's flagging it up to you. Yes, there's a chance there I could save some money. It's only £5.99, but, every little bit helps. Finally, I've got an amount here for magazine subscription. Now, that's something that probably could quite easily go, because these days you can get free magazines on your library card. There's all sorts of ways to read free magazines. So the chances are I would eliminate that one. And that's a £12 saving straight away. So over a course of a year, that would be £144 saved. So that's why I like to do this on a regular basis, because quite often things crop up in a month that you might have forgotten about. And I do cover this a bit later on. There might be an annual cost that suddenly hops in. But this gives you a chance to catch those items, and it also gives you a chance to review on a regular basis exactly what bills you're paying. And when your circumstances change, and they often do as the year progresses, you might then look at this and think, well, okay, these are obvious places that I can save some money. Do I want to do that or don't I? So that's why I have a bill tracker, and I keep it entirely separate to any other spending. This is purely direct debit, standing orders, and any bank type charges. I haven't included things like overdraft charges. You might well have those, in which case they are still charges that will come out of your bank account. So you would include those as well. So these are all automatic payments that go out of your bank account come what may. They tend to be essential expenditure, but occasionally you get these odd items that are non-essential. So that is the bill tracker, and that forms step 3 of budgeting your best life.